the Sussexes, and Harry showed this again in the ITV interview which he gave recently. This was on the documentary about the press. He brought his family into it. He said that their attitudes diverged. It was one of the reasons for the rift. That need not have been brought in. King Charles is fighting cancer, and so is the Princess of Wales. The documentary could have gone ahead perfectly reasonably without that being brought in. But the fact that in both of these there has been explicit and implicit criticism of the royal family makes it absolutely clear that the fact that it's a difficult time for the institution isn't going to stop Harry and Meghan from attacking it, although not in the same way, at least not yet, as they were. But what it will mean, a trip to Colombia, and probably elsewhere, since this is something that appears to be working, and I would say it's makes a change to see the Sussexes either take advice or maybe they had this idea themselves. We don't know, but actually taking advice was something that appears to come off. It's going to take an enormous amount of publicity, and the royal family will not be able to match that in any way that I can foresee. I think when you have former senior working members of the royal family do what the royal family would like to do, to some of them are, but not with that publicity, I do think that it will create difficulties, because the problem is that the Sussexes are so unpredictable, and they've shown in the last couple of weeks, we've seen this again, that they're not afraid to bring up either material that will embarrass the royal family or refer to rifts with it. And that's only a step away from overtly criticizing it again. They would say that they're doing their own thing in a way that they feel best able to do it. What it will do, however, will be to draw attention to the Sussexes and not to the royal family, at least not to the royal family in a positive way, because the Sussexes and the royal family, there's such a deep rift, and that's the problem. And the other difficulty is the nature of the illness involved, which is so terrible, and millions around the world know this. The very nature of it makes it so difficult to plan for the future months. Whereas the Sussexes have hit on what they see as a winner, and they will obviously exploit this. In 2021, they were in the time top 100. I think they'd like to get back there. They've got quite a number of irons in the fire, but they're finding with these tours that this is something that draws the press. And the problem with the royal family at the moment is that they're simply not able to do something which attracts attention on the same level. And attention is important if you're royal. Queen Elizabeth famously said, "I must be seen to be believed." And the royal tours abroad are part and parcel of the work of the monarchy. I mean, they're absolutely essential because they bring in enormous amounts of goodwill. Also, I would add a lot of trade, the cooperation in various fields, cultural fields, for example, that happens, environmental matters and so on. There is at the moment, for totally understandable reasons, a problem when it comes to senior members of the royal family. I refer particularly to King Charles and Queen Camilla, and also the Prince and Princess of Wales, travelling abroad together, because these trips were so significant. I mean, King Charles has been to Germany, to Romania, to France, to the United Arab Emirates for COP summit, and also to Kenya, and all of those were highly successful trips. There's no doubt, however, that a royal trip abroad, it's got mutual benefits, it's got impact, the press follow it. And when it comes to the world's most glamorous couple, William and Catherine, the interest is absolutely phenomenal. There's absolutely no doubt, though, that it's the battles that King Charles and also the Princess of Wales are fighting so gallantly against cancer, it does make it an absolute nightmare for royal planners. It's very, very difficult. A royal trip is, by its very nature, exhausting, and also people want to see more of you. They want to see as much as you possibly can. When itineraries, you cram in as much as possible, and so forth. So it really does present a problem when there are health issues. There's little doubt that there's a vacuum. One's talking about really high-profile royals. Of course, the Princess Royal and the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh and others do sterling work and carry out visits abroad, but they are not particularly high profile. They don't particularly want to be. But the institution does need this oxygen. And there's also no doubt that Harry and Meghan discovered in their what one would call a faux royal tour to Nigeria. It had the benefit that she discovered she was 43% Nigerian. Nigeria had only just joined the Invictus Games and was interested in its possibility of hosting the games in future, and that was the two ideal opportunities. As we've subsequently seen, the Sussexes will be going to Colombia. The Nigerian trip was a success. There were a variety of events that were arranged for charitable, military, Invictus and other areas that were successful. So far as the Colombian trip is concerned, there's no doubt that I'm personally skeptical when it comes to Archwell, and I quote the Vice President of Colombia, is renowned for its global leadership in fostering a safer online environment, because it's only founded in 2020 and it couldn't possibly be a global leader. In fact, it's only had a couple of donors in the last available year that we've seen accounts, and it isn't especially substantial. But there is absolutely no doubt that Archwell had a pilot project on online safety, and with the interview given on CBS, there's no doubt at all that Harry and Meghan have enhanced its profile. The trip, therefore, will be high profile. It will be linked to, apparently, an international ending violence against children conference, and that will be linked to online safety. And in the CBS interview, Harry and Meghan were talking about the importance of parents being proactive, and also the dangers that we face, and it's a very real danger online when it comes to tragic ends sometimes to this, and the fact that there are easy safeguards. But there's also no question that they will get a lot of publicity.